What if that light that we keep searching for isn't always on? What if there are times when we can't actually see and we're stumbling? And what if the point of it all is not to find the light, but to find peace, light or no light, stumbling or basking? Buddha always said that was our main suffering, was the fact that we expected to be happy. Now, Yogi Bhajan would say happiness is our birthright. So of course, you could take those two ideas and think, wow, what a contradiction. Buddha said that it's expecting to be happy that causes our suffering, and Yogi Bhajan said that we cause our suffering because we don't believe that happiness is our birthright. But what if both of those statements mean exactly the same thing? Because, I hope this is not too windy for you. I'm out on the trail and the wind just picked up. So, what if they mean the same thing? Because here's the thing, we talk about happy, we talk about getting our happy back, but we're not talking about a happy, this inane grin that never leaves your face, this feeling of everything's right with the world and I'm just, on cloud nine. Because if that was the case, imagine if you were there all the time. It actually would be exhausting, not to mention boring, right? Quite often the most interesting moments in our lives are preceded by some quite eventful events leading up to it. So, what if that happiness, that word that, of course, in English, we're using a language that is not as descriptive as many of the ancient languages, in a civilization and a way of living that they could never have forecast. So, when the neighbour's saying hello, they could never have foreseen. So it's a lot different. So what is happiness? Well, wouldn't happiness be a lack of suffering? But that's the thing Buddha said, right? It was expecting not to suffer that caused us to suffer even more. So it's not a lack of suffering. What if it's more to do with finding peace? This happiness we're all searching for, that at the end of the day, the thing we're searching for is peace within. And imagine that if each of us could seek and find a little more peace within, well, we'd be creating a more peaceful world, right? If each of us just did that. We don't have to do anything to other people. We don't have to change them. We don't have to lecture them. We don't have to do anything. Just find a little more peace within, and quite often we can find peace within so easily. We can find peace within by simply doing one thing. And that's letting go. If we can let go, if we can surrender whatever that thing is that's keeping us caught up in the tension we feel ourselves caught up in, there will be no tension. And when there's no tension, you cannot feel caught up. You let it go. We're so resistant to letting it go. So what if we can have our happiness and eat it? And that's Cuddles, the little dog, barking at me as I go by. But what if we can? And what if it's not about finding it's not about us being happy all the time. It's about us being at peace with the times we're in the dark. It doesn't mean we're passive. Do not mistake peaceful for passive. They're not the same. In fact, peaceful warrior, we have to work for peace. Right? Hate is very passive. It's very easy to feed the fires of hate. right? And it takes a lot more to stoke the fires of peace, both within us and within others. But when we do, when we start to seek peace, not only in the light, but peace when we're fumbling around, knowing, looking back at empirical evidence, your very own empirical evidence, that there have been stages like this before. There have been stages where something has happened. You were in the light, and then the light switch was turned off. You were in the dark. You're stumbling around. You thought you wouldn't make it through, but you're here today, so you did. Excuse me. You made it through. And you'll do it again. It may not be the way that you choose, it may not be the way that you want, but you will make it through. And the more you're involved, the more you'll have a say in the outcome. Don't be passive, but seek the peace. It's what we all want. To feel a little more peace. It's not about what size jeans we can fit into, or how cute we look on our latest Instagram photo, or what hot places we've just been to, or the latest purse that we're carrying, or any of that. You know that. All of those things can feed a certain part of you, but when it is just you, yourself, and you left alone, they will not feed you. Only you can do that. You are your own peaceful warrior. As we have talked about before, like Michael Singer says in The Untethered Soul, A Journey Beyond Self, everything will be okay when you decide everything will be okay. And that's when everything will be okay. And it is as simple and complicated as that. It is for us to decide. And we do not need help getting through the good times, though I think sometimes we might have some lessons to learn to appreciate those a little more. But also to appreciate the what quote unquote what we might call the bad times, the shadow times, because they are the precedent to the light. There cannot be new light if there is no dark. So when a new dawn needs to shine for us, there will be darkness come over our skies. But the light will always find us. It will never be far behind. As a friend recently texted me, what did she say? The blessings come in waves. Ride the waves. Keep your balance and eye on this. Keep your balance, and the shore will always be close. And that's what we've got to do. We've just got to relax, release, surrender. What the fuck are we thinking we need to do? Because most of what we're doing is the thing that's causing us the fucking friction. So we need to relax. We need to surrender. We need to let go. And you don't have to let go of everything all at once, but let go of something. Just decide you're going to let go of something. And just do it. And keep coming back to it. Well, I think that's about the end of my discussion for today. I'm walking up the hill presently. And I like to do that all by myself. But I would love to hear from you, What does happiness mean to you? Does this resonate with you as well? If we ask a question with a different filter, if we ask it in a different way, we will get a different answer, right? And so if we start looking at it through this and realizing that, as well as this is the other thing that Michael Singer says, is, we're just a teeny tiny being on a planet spinning around in the middle of nowhere. That's all we are. We get all this stuff. It seems so big because that's how it distracts us. But we can take a step back and we can realize it's only as big as we make it. And the further back we get, the more we put it into perspective and the more we see, okay, maybe it's not so big after all. So we get to breathe and we get to see it in a different light. I look forward to hearing from you. I hope this wasn't too much of a windy conversation. The wind is quite breezy right now. I love you. I look forward to hearing from you. Satnam.